Something strange is happening at Nissan. A sudden change in leadership, controversial decisions at the top of the hierarchy, and in the middle of it all, a name rising from the ashes. Silvia. Could the 90s legend really be coming back? And what does that mean for the brand's future? This news has been circulating for a few months now, but it's still shaking up the automotive world. Then CEO Makoto Uchida stepped down from his position, and now taking over is Ivan Espinosa, a name that might not be widely known yet, but is already making waves for being a true car enthusiast. During a 2024 interview with Top Gear, he let slip something that made Nissan fans go wild: the possibility of bringing back the Silvia, one of the most iconic models in the brand's history. That one comment alone sent shockwaves through the community, and if you think this is just another marketing move, just wait until you hear the details behind this shakeup. The resignation of Makoto Uchida on March 11, 2025, was more than just a leadership change. It represents Nissan's attempt to reinvent itself during one of the most challenging periods in its recent history. Uchida, who had been CEO since 2019, handed in his resignation after years of questionable decisions and underwhelming results. The statement from Chairman Yasushi Kimura was clear. Nissan needs transformation. We believe we've chosen the right person to lead the company through these difficult times. That person is Ivan Espinosa, a name that might not mean much at first glance, but carries 22 years of experience within Nissan itself. He joined in 2003 and, at only 40 years old, is seen as part of a new generation of executives. Still young, but with the experience needed to face the deep crisis the company is going through. It's worth noting, Nissan is currently losing an estimated $500 million every 2 months, and that's the situation Espinosa will inherit when he officially takes over on April 1st, 2025. But what really caught people's attention was his mindset and enthusiast background. In an interview with Top Gear in 2024, Espinosa said, "I truly believe Nissan has much more potential than what we're seeing today. I'm excited to build something new on top of the efforts of those who came before." And that's when the moment came that reignited hope among fans. When asked about entry-level sports cars, he directly pointed out the lack of such a model in Nissan's current lineup and said, "It would be a challenge to bring back the Silvia, but my job is to find a way to make it happen." That comment didn't go unnoticed. The Silvia, discontinued in the early 2000s, is still remembered fondly by an entire generation of JDM lovers. It stood for accessible performance, an iconic design, and the spirit of customization. Everything that seems to be missing in today's overly sanitized lineups from traditional automakers. His full quote to Top Gear was, "It would be a challenge to bring the Silvia back, but I believe it would be very good for both the customers and the brand. With the right formula in the right place, we can make it work." These words reveal more than just desire. They reflect a strategic vision focused on reclaiming Nissan's identity. And this goes beyond nostalgic marketing. It's about repositioning the brand for an audience that feels abandoned by today's soulless cars. Espinosa presents himself as a true enthusiast, something Uchida, and others before him, never really seemed to prioritize. It's a stark contrast. While the previous leadership leaned on more conservative decisions, often disconnected from the passionate fanbase, like keeping the GTR lineup practically stagnant for years, Espinosa arrives with a speech centered on renewal, authenticity, and reviving Nissan's legacy from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But let's be clear, the challenge ahead is massive. It's not enough to just make promises. Today's market is flooded with SUVs, generic EVs, and shared platforms. Bringing back cars with real soul takes courage, investment, and vision. Espinosa seems to have the passion, but we'll have to see if he gets the freedom and internal support to make this transformation happen. Still, the mere fact that a CEO is publicly talking about a name like Silvia is, in itself, a sign of hope. Not long ago, that kind of statement would have been unthinkable at a major Japanese automaker, where conservatism typically rules the boardroom. Espinosa's words hit home for those who believe a car can be more than just a means of transport. It can be a passion, a reflection of personality. And maybe, under this new leadership, Nissan will finally remember that. If there's one thing that stirs the heart of any Japanese car enthusiast, it's hearing that the name Silvia might return. But it's not just about nostalgia. The Silvia is more than a good-looking car that marked the 90s. It's a symbol of a time when Nissan took risks, innovated, and delivered products that truly connected with people who love to drive. And that's where Nissan's new CEO, Ivan Espinosa, faces a crucial decision: follow the safe, generic path, or truly bring back the soul the brand seems to have lost in recent years. Because yes, reviving the Silvia, if done right, is a huge opportunity. But if it's just going to be a bland electric coupe with generic styling and artificial performance, then maybe it's better not to touch that name at all. The Silvia legacy demands respect. We're talking about a lineage that includes iconic generations like the S13, S14, and the legendary S15, each with their own personality, but all built around a common vision: a lightweight, rear-wheel drive car with a responsive engine and sharp handling. That's the DNA the public wants back, not a Silvia disguised as a crossover with a Leaf's face. And Nissan knows that, or at least it should. Just look at the reaction on social media when Espinosa mentioned Silvia in his Top Gear interview. It wasn't an offhand comment, it was a deliberate teaser, and the response was immediate. Fans around the world began speculating, imagining, dreaming. And when that kind of reaction happens, the company has to listen. But listening is just the beginning. The truth is, enthusiasts are tired of promises. Nissan has already flirted with nostalgia in the past, like with the launch of the new Z. And while the Z is a good car, it didn't have the impact it could have. Why? Because, ultimately, it lacked authenticity. It felt like they tried to balance the spirit of the past with cost restrictions and existing platforms. The result was a product that satisfied, but didn't inspire. The Silvia can't make that same mistake. If it's coming back, it needs to return with a combustion engine, rear-wheel drive, manual transmission, and a bold, distinctive design. This isn't about clinging to the past, it's about understanding the market. Just look at the success of the Toyota GR86 and Subaru BRZ, still going strong as entry-level options for people who want real cars, with soul and minimal electronic fluff. Or even the enduring appeal of the Mazda MX-5, which has stuck to the same formula for decades and still wins hearts. These cars aren't volume sellers, but they build brand identity, they create fans, they make people want to trust the brand, to buy SUVs from the same company, because they know there's a philosophy behind the badge. And that's exactly what Nissan desperately needs to recover. That's what Espinosa seems to understand. When he says he believes in Nissan's potential and wants to put the right formula in the right place, he's signaling in that direction. The big question is, will shareholders let him? Will he have the freedom and the budget to bring a project like Silvia to life without diluting its essence? Because the pressure for electric cars, SUVs, and global platforms is immense. That's the route many automakers are taking to cut costs and meet increasingly strict environmental regulations. And there's nothing wrong with that, as long as the brand doesn't lose its identity in the process. Nissan is already paying the price for years of poor decisions, like over-relying on the Chinese market, betting on tech that didn't evolve well, and abandoning the sporty spirit that once defined it. Now, facing massive losses and damaged credibility, investing in a new Silvia might seem risky, but maybe the bigger risk is to stay the same. The truth is, the fans still rooting for Nissan don't want a fake Silvia, something rushed out just to fill a catalog or appease regulators. They want a car that lives up to the name, that excites, that connects with the legacy of the S15, but brings a modern proposal without losing its soul. If Espinosa can pull that off, it might mark the beginning of a new era for Nissan. It could be the signal that the brand finally realizes building cars with soul is still worth it, that it's better to sell fewer, but with passion, than flood the market with forgettable generic models. And when that happens, the sky's the limit. Because a brand with history, with passionate fans, and with authentic products always finds its way back. And if there's one thing we've learned from this whole story, it's that Nissan still has the potential to surprise us, but it needs to start truly listening to the enthusiasts again. The new CEO, Ivan Espinosa, has already shown signs that he knows where the brand's roots are. And that alone is a breath of hope. But nice words and promises in interviews aren't enough. What will shape Nissan's future isn't just a change in leadership, but concrete actions. The Silvia could be a turning point, if it's treated with the respect it deserves, and not turned into some generic product made to please spreadsheets and impatient shareholders. Nissan has had its golden days. It had GTRs beating Porsche, lap times at Nürburgring, Silvia's dominating tracks and hearts, 300 ZKs, and a rich history. And what fans are asking for today isn't impossible. They simply want that same spirit back. They want soul. They want cars that aren't just efficient, but engaging. If Espinosa truly gets that, and manages to make it happen, Nissan might just turn things around. The real question now is, will they have the courage to do it the right way? And you? What do you think about all this? Do you believe the new CEO can bring back the Silvia with authenticity? Or have you already lost faith in Nissan? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let's get this discussion going. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, because it really helps the channel grow. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do that now and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming content. Here, we dive deep into the behind-the-scenes stories and controversies of the automotive world, always with that raw, passionate take you've come to expect. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.